Thank you so much for joining me in this video. My name is Billy Keels with Keep on Cashflow. I want to talk to you about why real estate is the asset of choice and the asset that has helped me to create a 5 figures of additional revenue and doing that in just 18 months. And a lot of people probably, well, the reason I want to talk to this is a lot of people ask, well, Billy, why did you choose real estate? Especially being a person who lives in Europe and you're investing back in the United States. And I don't know about you, but I had a situation back in 2008 where, working at a corporate job, I had, I was working and you probably in your situation, you had the mutual funds and you had some stocks and your bank account was, feeling relatively well. And then from a couple of days time, your stock portfolio went from here to down to here, and there was not really anything you could do about it. I was in the same situation. And so I decided, you know what, I'd listened to other people say that it happened before, et cetera, et cetera. So I was looking to actually create a new alternative for myself. And so I'd been online and I was reading and I was looking at a lot of different things, and I actually came across a statistic that I'd heard from a couple of different people and actually saw it online that approximately 80% of the millionaires in the world have created their wealth through real estate. And I thought, okay, well, let me take a look at that. And so I did some reading and I was learning and reading some more and talking to other people. And it seemed like it seemed pretty good asset class. Lots of people that were millionaires have been doing it. So I thought, okay, let me dive in and take some more time, because I didn't want to go through another downturn and be completely unprotected, right? And so you're asking yourself, Billy, well, yeah, why did you choose real estate? Well, after I understood that, I looked at the different asset classes and I started to get a better understanding. What were some of the strengths? What were some of the weaknesses? But I was paying particular attention to real estate, I have to admit. So one of the things that I don't know if you're aware of, but when you look at the overall number of asset classes there are primarily 4 major asset classes. So I want to share that with you and then come back to talk to you about, and I think it'll be clear for you why I actually selected real estate as the vehicle, asset class vehicle of my choice. So first of all, I'm going to break down the 4 different asset classes, and then we'll talk to you about that later. So we have the different types of assets. First of all, a lot of people talk about, you can invest in businesses. You can invest in a business. And what do I mean by that? Typically with a business, and I'm talking about more of a medium-sized business, a business that you're putting your own capital in for maybe someone that you know, or someone that is a family or friend, but you're placing your capital into a business. And one of the things that is great about that is there's an opportunity for you to gain much greater returns, more solid returns at the same time. And one of the things I would always recommend is when you're placing your capital or when you're looking at it, is also be very aware of what the business is about, how it generates its capital, how it creates its returns. So this is the first asset class, and we'll come back and maybe talk about it a little bit in a few minutes. The next asset class that a lot of people talk about are commodities. And when I talk about commodities, I want you to think of like oil, or think about wheat. These are the different types of commodities where you can place your capital and that as an asset class, and it will creates a return for you. Though you'll need to also understand, what's happening maybe on a geopolitical level, or understanding at a macro level when you're placing your capital somewhere, because from this asset class, you may not necessarily need to know and understand as much as a business. However, it is going to be very important that you understand the dynamics when looking to place capital in some type of a commodity. I know that I was going through that reflection a lot as I was reading, right? The next thing I want to talk about is paper assets. Paper assets, and this is probably, if you're watching this and you're in the corporate game or working your 9 to 5, a lot of times what happens is this is the easiest one for us to place our capital in. A number of you are probably already purchased stocks, or you have some type of mutual fund, or you're in your company's 401k plan, or plan de pensiones, or one of these types of equivalent programs. And once again, this is probably the easiest as an asset class, because what you need is basically money. You put your money in somewhere and it's highly liquid, and you can get your money back. Well, depending on which asset class, it's much easier to get your money back. A lot of times you may have to look at getting some type of penalties if you're in some type of qualified plans, these things. But normally, paper assets, they're the easiest to get in, and typically they're the easiest to get out of, right? And then next is the one that's closest to my heart, and the one that's closest to my heart, and that is real estate. And when I started reading about real estate, I go back to that, 80% of the millionaires in the world, that their wealth was based from real estate. And I started looking at it. Of course, I had some concerns because it's once you're placing capital there, it's less liquid than a paper asset, for example, or a business. So that was kind of a concern. But I was looking at it as well. Being much more of a conservative type of investor, this was, there was an ability one of the abilities was to create very predicted type of income or cash flow moving forward. And that was something that really appealed to me. There were actually two things specifically when I started reading about real estate, aside from being able to give to a specific community and being able to create jobs and create growth and be a part of that. There were also two things that were really interesting for me. And that's why I want to share them with you. The first is the fact with real estate, there's this thing called leverage. Right? And with leverage, what that means is you're able to place a portion of your capital and using your money, this much of your small amount of your money, and then looking to go out and use someone else's money. For instance, the bank, you typically will go out and get a loan or a mortgage for a property that you're going to purchase. So you use a portion of your money to be able to go out and control an asset that was going to create much more returns for you as you move forward in the future. So that was cool. I could use a little bit of money and actually do that to create greater returns. The next thing was this thing, and specifically, there's this thing called depreciation, especially because I am an investor who's investing back in the United States. This depreciation concept is something that's it's fantastic. I mean, you see it a lot in big businesses with machines and things like that. You can also apply it to purchasing real estate. And like me, I love multifamily, commercial, residential real estate, which is fantastic. And so when you're able to apply not only leverage, but depreciation, it can also help to protect returns and also help to create greater returns. So these two things within the real estate asset class were something that really, really motivated me to want to go out and find out more. So, like I said, people ask me why, Billy, why are you interested in real estate? And like I said, real estate is the vehicle of all the asset classes that has helped me to create, 5 figures of revenue in 18 months. And so I'm sure that, you getting involved, you'd be able to do it much, much sooner. But, if you hadn't already been aware of the different asset classes, I just wanted to put that out there. Leave this also too for you to go out and do your own research, look at the different types of asset classes. Like I said, I love real estate. I'm completely convinced. I also have a business, and I, continue to, I've had also have paper assets. So I'm able to, move more of my capital around, more of my money around, and able to do different things, focusing on different asset classes and combining them, like businesses and real estate. It's amazing. So, like I said, I just wanted to share this bit of information with you, and I'm hoping that you're going to find it very helpful, very useful, at least as a starting point for you to go out and look at the different types of asset classes. So as you do that, it is just a matter of making sure that you are able to get the most from all the different asset classes, specifically with real estate. I'd like to invite you to click on the link that's here in the video. I'd love to be able to talk to you more about it, specifically talk about your situation and how you can use real estate to also, just like me, create more revenue for you and get you closer to your dreams in a faster amount of time. So my name is Billy Keels with Keep on Cash Flow. I always like to say, this is my 2 cents for today. And as always, hasta la próxima.